This is Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Jack in the Box.
You are looking live. Good evening, everybody, at Gustafson Stadium, where tonight we've got the O'Connor Panthers and the Stevens Falcons on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. The O'Connor Panthers have been ranked number 2 in our TNL Top 10 most of the year. Chuck, they're a dominant football team, but Stevens is 1-1 in district play. As we take a look at the 28 6A standings, they're a team that still has very much playoff hopes.
Most definitely. I mean, if they get a win in one of these last 2 games, there's a really good chance of these guys getting into the postseason. And then O'Connor, 6-0, lighting it up. Believe it or not, though, their head coach David Molesky says they have yet to put a full game together. Hard to believe.
For the O'Connor Panthers, we saw them earlier in the year. It all starts with arguably the best player in the entire area. That's Millard Bradford, and he's an all-star.
Yeah, earlier this year on TNL, he was our MVP, and this season he's had a defensive touchdown, an offensive touchdown, and 2 special teams touchdowns, and you're looking at one of them right here. This guy is an amazing athlete. He'll be featured a lot tonight, as you'd expect.
And, of course, they're led by their quarterback, Roel Sanchez, who coming into this year was a star last year, and right now he is leading them to an undefeated season.
Yeah, I mean, last year he was the district offensive MVP, and 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Also can beat you on the ground, as you see. This guy's doing it all and running this offense very, very efficiently.
For the Stevens Falcons, keep your eye on running back Dorian Littlejohn. He, too, was an all-district performer a year ago.
Yeah, and he's been a little dinged up. He was out weeks 3 and 4, so the numbers this year a little bit down, but still almost 500 yards rushing this season and 5 touchdowns. No limitations tonight. That sprained knee is all healed up.
It is going to be hard to stop that O'Connor offense, but if Stevens is going to do it, they're going to need a big game from Nate Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's going to be playing in our SA Sports All-Star game later this year. This guy, as you see, a 2-year starter, a team captain, and again, one of those guys that just flies to the ball. They're going to need a big game out of him tonight.
All right, it's mid-October, so it should be cooling down, right? Let's hope for a nice fall football weather game. Let's go down to Mike Hernandez for our ASCO game time conditions. Mike?
Hey, guys, yeah, I think that's exactly what we're going to have. Temperatures are going to be around the upper 70s to start the game. There's a nice southeast breeze. Eventually, that's going to make it feel a little warmer as we move into the Friday and Saturday time frame. But for tonight, perfect football weather, partly cloudy skies. Should be very enjoyable.
Hey, Mike, we got so many all-stars in this game that we couldn't mention them all right there off the top. Who you got your eye on tonight?
I think number 44, the wide receiver, Jalen Hughes. He's having a huge year right now. And, you know, he's got about 38 receptions, over 600 yards, 7 TDs already. He's also one of the San Antonio Sports All-Star Selection kids. And I think with this young defense, I think he's going to have a huge game tonight. I wouldn't surprise me if he picked up 2-3 TDs tonight.
He is very fast. We saw that when we had him earlier in the year. All right, when we come back, we will have our Hallmark University keys to the game. Again, it's O'Connor, it's Stevens, it's District 28 6A. We're back after this.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Lymphedema MD. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Jack in the Box.
Gustafson Stadium, the backdrop tonight for O'Connor versus Stevens here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. And right now it is time for our Hallmark University keys to the game. And Chuck, first we'll talk about those O'Connor Panthers.
For David Molesky's bunch, he wants to win the turnover battle tonight. Field position, he wants to tilt that in his favor. And then he wants big plays from his offense. He wants to limit them from the Stevens side.
We asked David Molesky, how do you attack this Stevens squad?
Well, it's balanced. Hopefully we're balanced offensively, you know, and running the game and throwing game. And you're right, they're a young football team, but they've got a lot of weapons that we have to worry about tonight as well. And so this isn't going to be an easy task.
All right, Chuck, what are the keys for Stevens?
For Conrad Hernandez's bunch, well, they want to be very efficient on offense and really protect the ball tonight. Secondly, want to be smarter on special teams. They've had some gaffes that have kind of set them back in some of these games this year. And then lastly, We know how explosive O'Connor can be. They want to make sure they lock those guys up as much as possible tonight.
Yeah, O'Connor undefeated. Nobody else has slowed him down. So how does Coach Hernandez plan to slow him down?
Well, I think it's about controlling what we can control first. And, offensively, if we gave them the goals this week of taking care of the chains and moving them and have some ball control, defensively, we have to, get rid of the explosive plays that they have and, mix up some schemes. And special teams, we can't make any mistakes. We can't afford to let them do what they want on special teams because they do a great job of that.
All right, we're in the heart of district play. O'Connor and Stevens. When we come back, we'll have the national anthem and we'll kick it off here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We're back and we're turning it over to our public address announcer, Calvin Buckholz.
Now at midfield is the color guard from the 20,051st Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps of John Paul Stevens High School. The members include commanding and carrying the United States flag is Cadet Colonel Spencer Mickelson. Carrying the Texas flag is Cadet Captain Mark Martinez. The right guard is Cadet Captain Jonathan Wydell. And the left guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Anthony Martinez. If you have not already done so, please rise and remove your hats to honor America, along with the men and women who have served and are serving in our United States Armed Forces throughout the world. The national anthem for tonight's game will be played by the John Paul Stevens High School Falcon Band under the direction of John Dominguez.
Thanks for watching the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights pregame show. Stay tuned for tonight's first half kickoff.
Welcome back to Gus. It's Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. We're ready to kick it off. O'Connor and Stevens, the Panthers, won the toss, but elected to defer, so they will kick it off to the Falcons, who will get first crack at it. This will be our Earnest Roofing kickoff. Brought to you by Earnest Roofing. They have you covered. Conrad Hernandez, David Molesky, both getting their squads ready to go. Molesky's team, as we said at the outset, 6-0, undefeated, big win over Steele early in the year. And they're still a little, let's just say they remember that loss to Judson last year in the first round. And they may end up getting another crack at the Rockets.
Well, I think what's interesting, really, we start with O'Connor, is the fact that they are 6-0. And as you mentioned at the onset, ranked pretty much number 2 in our poll all year long. But they've done it essentially, Don, shorthanded most of the year off and on. They're getting a couple guys back tonight, but still a little banged up. And then Stevens, they're young in a lot of spots. Conrad Hernandez in his first year running the program. He's been at the school since it opened, but now the head man, trying to build something over there, and they still got a legitimate shot. You know, if they can find a way to win one of their last 2 games, there's a really good shot they are going to be playoff bound. So mighty big ball game tonight for both of these two teams.
That's DeJuan Elliott. He's back to receive this kick off the foot of Michael Lissy, our all-star kicker. And it'll be taken about 2 yards deep, and down right there at about the 11 or 12 yard line is where the Falcons will get it first. They're led by Josh Ramirez and Dorian Littlejohn, the running back to keep your eye on this Falcon team. He is an explosive back. They've got a number of weapons as well, coming off a kind of a tough loss to Warren a week ago, but looking to get back on track with a surprise or upset W here to put themselves in good position for a playoff spot here in District 28 6A. You look at the numbers for Josh Ramirez. 59 completions on the year for 124 yards, 6 touchdowns and 5 picks. And again, number 21 is the guy to keep your eye on in the backfield as he fires on first down, incomplete across the middle. He was looking for his favorite target, that's Anthony Moreno, but good coverage there by the Panthers.
Tried a little something, get the quarterback going early in this football game, and Josh doing a really nice job this year. There's big shoes to fill with the guy that he is replacing from last year. That is for sure.
Bryce Rivers, of course, playing a little bit for UTSA. On second down, he turns and hands to Littlejohn, and Littlejohn picks up 4 or 5 as we take a look at tonight's starting lineups. Our Hallmark University starting lineups. Matthew Benitez anchors that offensive front. Cole Strickland also is team captain and an all-star selection for our all-star game. Michael Davenport, by the way, is the younger brother of Marcus at UTSA, who's having an all-conference type year for the Roadrunners.
He's having an all-pro type year.
Motion handoff goes to William China. He's lunging forward for the stick. We'll see where they spot it. And it looks like he's got a Kielbasa Smoke Meats first down.
We talked about the Stevens team, Don. They're young, as we said, but they've got some explosive players now.
Young, very explosive. Guys who have put up good numbers this season. New set of downs as they turn in hand to Littlejohn, and he's brought down in the interior. Big number 70, Bryson Greer, has been in on a couple of tackles already. Donovan McKnight, the linebacker there with the tackle. Stevens wants to go quickly now with tempo. Second down and 8 for Ramirez. Play action and a keep for Ramirez, and he's going to be brought down for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. A number of Panthers there to bring him down as we take a look at the defensive starters for O'Connor. Bryson Greer right there in the front. Keep your eye on Millard Bradford, as we said earlier, number 7, who hasn't been feeling very well today, we hear, is one of the best players in the entire area. Zaire Taylor also a stud to watch there for the Panthers. Straight drop, firing, and that almost intercepted. O'Connor defense read that perfectly. Grant Rustin almost had himself a pick 6.
Yeah, Josh had to get rid of that get rid of the football quickly because O'Connor was bringing the heat there on third down, and they're able to get off the field after giving up the initial first down.
So Ronald Castellanos will come on to punt it away, and back deep is Jalen Hughes, the very electric wide receiver and special teams performer for the Panthers. He stands at his own 33-yard line. He's going to let this one bounce, and he'll stay away from it. It takes a Stevens bounce all the way down to the 29, 30-yard line, and that's where Roel Sanchez will have it when we come back. We're underway here at Gustafson. 0-0 here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium. A lot of fans all fired up there on TV as Roel Sanchez brings out the Panthers for their first series of this ball game. Bradford playing offense in the slot. And they're firing his way and just out of the reach of Millard Bradford. Second down and 10. Sanchez, Chuck, is one of the guys that going into this season we knew was going to be one of the players to watch after his junior year.
Yeah, just does a very good job managing this offense and really kind of sneaky athletic. You know, he can beat you with his feet, very accurate with his arm, and had a big game earlier this year when we featured him on TNL.
He's got 3 receivers to the right. Instead, he hands off right open the middle, wide open for Bradford. Watch out. Millard Bradford may take it to the house. Bradford to the 30. One man to beat. Touchdown, Panthers, Millard Bradford.
You said he wasn't feeling well?
71 yards for the score. Not bad for a safety playing a little offense in his spare time.
Well, they're a little banged up at the running back position, but it's nice to have a fail-safe like number 7. Look at that, just a gaping hole up the middle. And boy, I missed that pancake block up front, but that was one heck of a cavernous hole in which to run through. And boy, you give this guy any kind of a crease and you give him a hole like that, you know it's going to happen.
Lissy on for the extra point. Again, one of the best kickers in all of San Antonio, and the extra point is up and good. And as we head to break, it's the O'Connor Panthers 7, Stevens nothing after a 71-yard touchdown run by Millard Bradford. Chuck Millard Bradford had TCU as one of his suitors coming into tonight's ball game, and as this season goes on, more and more teams are starting to look at him, including some big ones, right?
Yeah, we'll be talking about him all night, but I don't know if you saw Brandon Brown, number 75, just back from injury. I mean, he delivered a block that was just absolutely crushing on that run.
That ball is down in the end zone, so it'll be a touchback as we go down to the sidelines of Mike Hernandez.
All right, and I'm joined by our title sponsor from, of course, Hallmark University. This is Taylor Mercier. He's the vice president. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Now, education is changing, and you guys seem to be right on top of that and how to handle that.
Yeah, education really needs to change. One of the problems that we're seeing today with higher education is it's broken. It's leaving too many people behind. So it takes too long, it costs too much, it's leading to outcomes that are leaving people without jobs. They're getting degrees but not necessarily the jobs. And we really need to do something to correct that. So at Hallmark University, you've probably seen our slogan out there, it's time for change. So we believe that education needs to be delivered faster, we need to make it more affordable, and we need to have outcomes that will lead to employment. 90% of our graduates are placed within 90 days of graduating, and our degrees are delivered in about half the time. So our associate's degrees are 14 months, our bachelor's degrees are 28 months, and our graduate degrees are delivered in 14 months. So very fast.
Very fast, and that's amazing what you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being our title sponsor. That's a wonderful program. Hallmark University, our title sponsor. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mike. And Little John is brought down right there by the young man who nearly had the pick a little earlier, Grant Rustin, doing a good job on defense.
Yeah, just reading this all the way and then flying to the football. Not an easy guy to bring down in space, but 20's having none of it.
Be a loss on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Ramirez wants to throw it, now does. Looked like it short hopped his intended receiver, and it did, so that'll set up 4th down, and Stevens will punt it away.
So another big stand by the O'Connor defense, and let's see what they do with their second possession now that they're going to get their hands back on the football.
Well, we saw the explosiveness of Bradford. The one thing you don't want to do is to kick it to that guy right there, Jalen Hughes, because he can make you pay on special teams right away. And it's a fake. Wide open space. Look out. They set it up by using DeJuan Elliott as the punter on the first series. He's their kick returner. And so on the second punt, he takes off and picks up a big 1st down.
How about Coach Conrad Hernandez rolling the bones early in this game? Backed up in their old end. Obviously saw something on tape. He saw a crease, and boy, once he got past the line of scrimmage, look out. That's a huge gainer for Stevens. And check what I said about O'Connor getting their hands back on the football. playing to win early. I like it.
Near midfield, a new set of downs for the Falcons. Trips to the right. Firing over to that side, knocked down off his feet. Again, it's Rustin with the tackle, but it's a completion and a gain for Stevens. That time it was Anthony Moreno with the catch.
Yeah, really good pressure again up front by O'Connor, and Stevens doing a really nice job picking up one of those edge rushers and giving Josh Ramirez just an extra tick to throw the football.
Sets up second down and 6. So fake to Little John. Ramirez will keep it. He's dropped right there. Donovan McKnight on the tackle.
This offensive line for Stevens, very young, save for number 70, Colt Strickland, who's, by the way, one of our SA Sports All-Star selectees over there on the left side. But this group getting better week in and week out.
Ramirez wants to throw, scrambles, fires. It's caught right along the sidelines and ridden out of bounds is William China. He'll move the sticks. It's a first down. Stevens, a kielbasa smoked meat first down.
Yeah, Josh Ramirez doing a really nice job. You know, he gets out there on the edge, looked like he was going to run it, and he deked the defender, bought himself just that extra smidge second to back up and throw the ball, and a nice strike on the run.
So here come the Falcons on the move at the O'Connor 40-yard line. Come in motion this side, hand on the jet sweep. China is drilled, and something tells me that was Bradford, and it was.
Boy, there's just only so many guys you can block. I mean, Stevens, it looked like that play was going to go for a long way. Really good job on the left side by their receivers throwing blocks and their running backs, but it's hard to account for number 7 coming all the way across the field to lock that up.
He's a heat-seeking missile. We saw him earlier in the season make some big plays just like that last time we had him. Just an amazing young athlete here on second down and 9. Ramirez rolling to his right, fires, caught for a gain, and out of bounds after a gain of about 8 is Moreno. As we take a look at our Texas silkscreen and embroidery player profile.
Yeah, it's Dorian Littlejohn, and look at that, nice GPA at 88. I think that's, what, roughly double yours and mine combined, but 3-year track Letterman guy, and you know, just the do-all everything guy at Stevens High School. And you know, he's been a little banged up this year. He was out weeks 3 and 4 with injury. It kind of slowed this squad down, but back and healthy and ready to go.
He's got the football here as he crosses the 25. Appreciate Texas Silkscreen and Embroidery sponsoring our player profiles tonight.
Indeed, it's always cool to highlight these young men, and you know, the stuff that they're doing on the football field we can see tonight, but so many of these kids have resumes that are already fully loaded before they even get to college.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. 11th play of this drive. Second down and 5. For Ramirez, a little option pitch to Littlejohn. Got nowhere to go. And coming up was Rustin again, who's already having a big night here on defense for the Panthers.
Yeah, O'Connor just blowing through all the blocks that were in front of him there, and tell you what, looks like Littlejohn's shedding a little of the red stuff there on that right elbow, huh? On the left elbow, excuse me.
Yeah, he's holding his head as well. Firing to the right side, and Rustin had it covered. Incomplete for Moreno, and so it'll be 4th down and 10. And Conrad Hernandez runs out his punting crew, but you never know. Or will they try a long field goal? It looks like they just might do that. Oscar Munoz has kicked a 44-yarder this year. This right here, where he's got it marked right now, would be a 47-yarder.
Yeah, and we'll see if our America's Diamond Smile Cam will have some smiles at the end of this boot.
All right, a season-long attempt here. It's on its way. It's not going to have enough to get there, and it lands about 8 yards deep in the end zone. So that's where O'Connor will have it when we come back. Nice drive for Stevens. No points. O'Connor leads 7-0.
welcome back. And again, we've got a beauty of a game going on. Riley Walker from San Antonio Sports joins us. Got a lot going on now. We've already got the players selected, right, for the All-Star game. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's going.
That's right. So we've got 104 players from 54 high schools.
Wow.
Yeah, all over the place. Bear County, the 7 surrounding counties. We got 6 players right now playing on the field. One of them just took it to the house a few minutes ago.
He did.
So
yes, he did.
Pretty exciting time.
Yeah, you're going to have a whole field, 104 of them that are capable of doing exceptional things at their positions.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of them already have scholarships, but it really gives those people one last chance to get noticed by a coach, and that's the beauty of the game.
So the game is January 6th. It's at the Alamo Dome. Again, part of the Army All-American Bowl event. You get to go to both games. How do people get tickets?
So it's you go to Ticketmaster.com. It's one price gets you into both games. $20 gets you into the Army game and also the All-Star San Antonio Sports All-Star game.
Okay. So again, that's how you do it, and it's coming up real quick. We've talked about this before. All of a sudden, it's here. Thank you. Really looking forward to being there that day. Of course, Don and Chuck and I will be out there televising that game as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike. Here's Sanchez on a boot, completes it, and across the 50 with room to run, still running inside the 30-yard line before being knocked out is Dylan Murray. And just a little wrinkle there by David Molesky's staff, and a huge gain for the Panthers.
Yeah, go out and find your fullback, and just way too much green and nobody in front of him. That's 2 offensive plays in a row where O'Connor's picking up huge gash yardage.
Jalen Hughes with a nice block on that play. And the Panthers are moving. Kielbasa smoked meat first down as they turn and hand to the young man. It's Murray again.
Tell you, that was a man-sized tackle by Matthew
Garza, 27, not 22.
Yeah, and Matthew Littlejohn with a man-sized tackle at the end of that, huh?
It's the brother of Dorian. Got one Littlejohn on offense and one on defense. As they split out Jalen Hughes to the right side. Looking his way, pump and go for Hughes. Firing is Sanchez. Hughes making a play on the ball. Did he catch it? He did. Touchdown O'Connor. Jalen Hughes. What a catch. What concentration. 26 yards off the arm of Roel Sanchez.
Well, Jalen Hughes was a stud last year. I mean, remember, he was their leading wide receiver a year ago, and they had Jonathan Tapia. I mean, this guy's been under the radar as far as recruiting goes because there's some people that say he's a step too slow or an inch too short, but I'll tell you what, every week we watch this guy play, he comes up and makes somebody whiff. Just a tremendous player.
Playmaker indeed, as Lissy's kick is up and good to give O'Connor a 14-0 lead here at Gustafson Stadium.
Coach Molesky just raves about this young man, and I guess he coached Jalen's dad too at Jay back in the day, but good hands, heavy IQ guy. Obviously, you see a guy make an adjustment to the football like that, and yeah, they're telling us that this young man might be the best route runner, Don, that they've ever had. That's saying something.
Fantastic athlete. Hey, by the way, you can vote now at the CW35.com for our All-Star Cheer Challenge, sponsored by CPS Energy. The cheer squad with the most votes gets a $1,000 grant. Second place gets a $500 grant. And the top 4 will cheer at the San Antonio All-Star Weekend, the U.S. Army All-American Bowl on NBC, and the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by HEB right here on the CW35. So make sure you vote at the CW35.com.
Yeah, and I guess we've already got 32 teams signed up for this, so get on there and vote your heart or your conscience or whatever you want to do, but get there and do it.
No write-in votes are allowed.
You know, Coach Molesky's got to like what he sees on that drive. 4 plays, 70 yards in the touch. And not a whole lot of time elapsed on the clock in order to do it either.
Running up to take it at the 15-yard line and some space in front was a player that's not on the normal depth chart when it comes to returning kicks, and that's Tyrus Franklin. The senior came up to make the play.
You just look at this O'Connor team and how big they are and how strong they are and how fast and the playmakers, and boy, they sure look the part each and every week. Josh Ramirez is getting trial by fire, as they say.
All right, so it is 14-0 here early. 3:16 to go here in the first quarter as Ramirez looks to his left, fires and completes it. Nice coverage there by the Panther defense, but not before it's completed to Gabriel Flores, the junior, with the reception.
We were talking to Coach Hernandez this week, and he was saying the great thing about Josh is he's an amazingly composed kid. Nothing rattles him. He's calm. He's always able to move on to the next play, good or bad, and that's one of the big things they really like about this guy and how he's able to go out and win this job during the summer and in the training camp times.
2nd and 6. That option again. Ramirez keeps it. Goes close to the first down. It's going to be a yard and a half short. Connor Callahan making the tackle for the Panthers.
Just said, yeah, he's just really consistent during the offseason and on the 7-on-7 stuff, and proved to be our guy. So they were open to competition. There was nothing written in sand when they started all the offseason stuff. He just kind of went out and won the job, and he's been a pretty darn good football player for these guys. And, you know, considering the loss of Bryce Rivers, he's done a nice job handling it.
Little sweep coming this way to China. And runs into a group of Panthers right there, led by big number 70, Bryson Greer.
Yeah, again, just guys doing a really good job staying at home. A lot of misdirection stuff going on, and these Panthers, we talked about the youth of their defense earlier on in the season, and you know, we're about halfway through now, so they've grown up nicely and getting better week in and week out.
2nd and 8. Ramirez surveys the defense. He's pressured. Going to buy some time and fire, and he completes it, but only back to the original line of scrimmage there to Littlejohn, and so that'll set up 3rd down and about 10.
Yeah, but Josh doing a really nice job. Obviously, defenders in hot pursuit and doing an outstanding job of just trying to extend the play, waiting for somebody to get free. Unfortunately, the O'Connor back end doing its job as well, bottling up most of the receivers on that particular play.
Miller Bradford limping around a little bit there at safety. 3rd down and 10. And whistles blow as we're going to have a false start on the Falcons. And that is the first penalty.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
David Eggleton, our referee tonight. Clean game so far. Look at David Molesky, former Judson linebacker. Conrad Hernandez, who UTSA grad, who's been here at Stevens a long time and is getting his chance after Darrell Hemphill moved up to the district office. Pressure coming and sacked. Big number 43, Diamond Rios, coming off the defensive end spot to get the sack on Ramirez. And Stevens will be forced to punt again.
Yeah, just coming off the left side, the blind side, and making it happen right there. Another big play by the O'Connor defense getting off the field.
Back to punt again is DeJuan Elliott, who is not their traditional punter. A little low liner. It'll skip out of bounds or close to it right there at the 49-yard line. Hey, San Antonio Sports and the U.S. Army are recognizing teams that have exhibited key values through their actions. To learn how parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game, visit sanantoniosports.org and watch TNL's halftime show tonight for teams that are going beyond the game.
Well, there he is, Roel Sanchez, our former Scholar Athlete of the Week, and as we said, last year's Offensive District MVP as a junior. Backing it up with another nice year as a senior here.
Inside handoff to Garza, and that'll take us to the end of the first quarter with our score. The O'Connor Panthers 14, the Stevens Falcons nothing. We're coming back with second quarter action to Gustafson Stadium, Hallmark University, Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back. Time for our iDreamSA.com highlights connecting San Antonio teams to opportunity. Millard Bradford, of course, got everything started with a 71-yard run right up the middle to make it 7-0 O'Connor Panthers. Stevens had a nice drive all set up by a fake punt where they picked up the first down and moved it into O'Connor territory, but it would fizzle out, a missed field goal there. That set up the pump and go to Jalen Hughes. Scores on the 26-yarder, and that gives O'Connor a 14-0 lead as we move on to the second quarter. Panthers already with great field position at the 46. Inside handoff to Brandon Garza, who stumbles forward across the 40 and near another kielbasa smoked meat first down.
Where we talk about the numbers at O'Connor High School and the success that they enjoy each and every year is one of the area's best teams. And as we said, they're a little short-handed tonight at running back, but it just seems like it's always next man up mentality at this school for sure.
Third down and a yard, straight ahead. Garza's got it. Just got it by about a foot. Take a look at the first quarter statistics. And as you would expect, O'Connor well ahead in the key categories. Good clean game, no turnovers, and only one penalty. O'Connor's had a nice, Stevens rather has had a nice time of possession and actually leads in first downs, but just couldn't score on that drive. Here's Garza. He pops it to the 20, got a block. Garza, touchdown, O'Connor. Jalen Hughes on the outside with a great block. A 38-yard score for Brandon Garza.
Outstanding run by the sophomore who had one touchdown on the year coming in. We talked about Trayshawn Patterson's a little dinged up tonight, so we're having to go by committee, but just an outstanding job on the run. And then Jalen Hughes, look at the block he gets downfield. Good vision there. Cuts it up towards the sideline and got a little convoy in front of him. Ford doing a nice job downfield to help spring it at the end.
Michael Lissy's third extra point, true right down the middle, and O'Connor runs it up to 21-0 here early in the second quarter.
All right, welcome back again. If you're just joining us right now, O'Connor is up 21-0. Want to introduce to my left, this is actually Raul Saldana, and to my left, Tina Schubert, a familiar face and a familiar smile from Jack in the Box. Raul, you wanted to talk about something, a new program that you have going on. It's going to raise some money for a good cause.
Yes, sir. I would like to go ahead and tell y'all about this $5 booklet that we have at all Jack in the Box locations, and also this $1 coupon. It is for the No Kids Go Hungry. We don't just like to feed our community, we also like to give back. So this is what we're doing at all Jack in the Box locations. So if you would stop by with one of ours, so go ahead and buy one. And it has $40 worth of savings in this one, and this one you get your $1 back. Okay? Thank you very much.
Hey, so how long is this program going to be going on?
Oh, this program will be going on for about another 4 weeks, sir.
Okay, so people have time to do it, and any Jack in the Box.
At any Jack in the Box, you can get all of those coupons.
All right, got to get a big smile from Tina.
Hey.
There's a classic smile. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Always glad to have Tina and Jack in the Box with us as Stevens will take over in their own territory, try to get some points on the board here in the first half. Not a surprise. We knew just how explosive O'Connor was, and now Coach Conrad Hernandez has to kind of guard against his team. As he used to say, Chuck, getting their dauber down. You got to keep your chin up and keep fighting, and I'm sure they will.
I mean, like I said, still a lot to play for these guys, tonight and going forward. I mean, these guys have a shot to get in the playoffs.
Little John in motion, they give it to him, and he tries to bounce it outside. And coming up from the linebacker spot to make the tackle is Donovan McKnight. Good pursuit. O'Connor just has so many athletes. I know there's a lot of talk about Judson, USA Today top 25 team. But O'Connor's got the size on both interior lines and skill players to, I think, make it a much more competitive playoff game than it was a year ago if these two teams end up meeting again. They're special. They're talented in just about every area. Again, coming up from the corner spot. That one's incomplete.
And I think, yes, Judson is all that, just like O'Connor. There's no question about it. But I think, again, what is impressive about what O'Connor has done to this point, a couple things. Coach Molesky said they haven't put a full game together yet. Either start fast, finish slow, or vice versa. And they've been banged up, but that's what good teams do. They've got depth, and it is next man up. So, I know that this team still has some growth in it, but still, it's impressive what they've done to this point, considering that, and I know a lot of teams are banged up this time of year, but these guys seem like they've been missing kids each and every week, and the train's still rolling down the tracks.
And the number of athletes that they have, you look at their defense, and they've got a couple of safeties. You go, wow, they're very impressive. They'd probably be the best team player on any other team in the area, and they don't get mentioned because of the Bradfords and the Hugheses and the Sanchez and the rest of them. Zayat Taylor. Hughes has it. And he's taken down after losing a couple. And that's where O'Connor will have it when we come back in a 21-0 lead with 9:21 to play here in the second quarter.
Binion and Alexander, nice job there covering that up.
Welcome back. Hey, the America's Diamond Smile Cam was over at Stevens High School this week as the Falcons got fired up with their student body for the pep rally. Wearing the red jerseys there, the black ones tonight. Sky dancers entertaining the crowd. All part of our America's Diamond Smile Cam over at Stevens.
All I know is Colt Strickland, number 70.
Big fella.
Looks like a lumberjack. It's a big man.
O'Connor leads at 21-0, and they have the football at their own 45-yard line, looking to add to it. Line it up in the backfield with Sanchez as Zion Taylor, Zair's little brother. Sanchez takes off, and he's got space. Roel Sanchez across the 30 all the way down to the 26-yard line. Little Dalton Sturm in him right there.
Yeah, I mean, he had three receivers over on the left and singled up over on the right side and didn't like what he saw downfield, but hey, I think I got a chance to turn this into a big one either way. Beat you with his feet.
Tailback is Zion Taylor, just a sophomore. And he is Zaire Taylor's little brother. Zaire a standout on defense, and Zion's got it here trying to get outside and can't. Good pursuit by the Stevens defense.
Davon Martin. It's a nice play there, young man.
Davon Martin with a nice play.
Yeah, shoot the gap and get the offender on the ground.
Hey, Brandon Brown, also the focus of our Texas Silk Screen and Embroidery player profile. This young man right here is going to play anywhere he wants. 8 D1 offers already, and he's only a junior.
Yeah, has a brother on the staff, had a brother that just graduated from Tech.
As a strike is caught by Jalen Hughes. There's Brown, going about 280 these days. But yep, his brother Brady played at UTSA, and he's the offensive line coach. Balin was a all Big 12 performer at Texas Tech, and Briley's currently in the 6th grade, and he goes about 250.
And Briley plays for the Packers.
What a great family, the Browns. Solid folks. Inside handoff across the 10. And to the Miracle Mattress red zone here. But, you know, Brown, and then on the other side, they've got Logan Parr, number 71, who is also just a sophomore. And he, too, right now is about 265. But he, too, is already getting all those scouts at camps looking at him, and they think both of these guys will be playing at Power 5. Texas, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, anywhere they want to play. Just some huge offensive linemen as Taylor sticks his nose down and dives forward.
Yeah, and you got Chavez and Ramirez over on the right side, very steady guys. Simonis, the center, is an all-district first-teamer. They are very, very strong up front, to say the least. I'd like to run behind those guys. Nice getting those guys to walk to class with you, make sure nobody accosts you.
3rd down and short. Little bootleg. Sanchez fires. It's caught, but short of the stick. Again, good pursuit by the Stevens Falcons defense. And getting over there to make the tackle was David Orozco. He's a scholar athlete, the team captain. We've got a Falcon down. And we'll send it to break as they attend to the young man. We'll be right back. O'Connor leading 21-0. We're back there helping off Jeremy Robledo there, and looks to be some sort of leg injury, but good to see him try to get off on his own power. He didn't move for a while, but obviously struggling to get off the field with some sort of leg injury. Wish him the best.
Yeah, the senior defensive lineman taking some sort of shot there, and we'll hope for the best there.
All right, it's 4th down and 2 for O'Connor. They're going to turn and they're going to hand it straight ahead and in for the, well, let's see where they call it, right at the goal line. They're going to call Brandon Garza short. He'll have the 1st down, but it'll be short of the touchdown. It'll be a new set of down and a 1st down right at the 1-inch line for Roel Sanchez, who's probably hoping to get that quarterback sneak call so he can put another 6 up there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was pretty decisive running there by Brandon Garza. And again, we talked about the powerful O'Connor offensive line. Not a bad group to run behind if you need the sticks on 4th down.
So it's a kielbasa smoke meets 1st down. It's Brandon Garza, and it's Garza for a touchdown. And just like that, it's 27-0 Connor with the extra point coming.
They can beat you a lot of ways, can't they? In the air, on the ground, up front.
We talked about the size of that offensive line, and it's like, it's obvious. If you have guys like that up front, you just run hard behind them. They're doing the dirty work, those big fellas.
Yeah, and Garza took a shot right there at the line of scrimmage and still fell forward for the touchdown. Good, powerful running.
Another impressive kick from Lissy, who's trying to kick it over the fence here at Gus. Makes it 28-0 with 5:53 to play. And O'Connor in complete control after an 8-play, 55-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 28 seconds off the clock. Hey, coming up at halftime, don't forget to stick around for our Countywide Service Company halftime show. You'll get your chance to vote for the band grant, as you'll hear from the O'Connor Panthers marching band and the Stevens Falcons band. And we'll introduce you to a couple of new Vulcan Materials Company scholar athlete. All that coming up on the Countywide Service Company halftime show. David Molesky going over the plan with his special teams, having a lot of fun here, up 28-0. Don't see David Molesky smile much in the middle of a football game. That was right there. We better grab that screenshot and send it to him.
Yeah, he's
intense.
He's all business, man. He was all business this week on the phone too. You could tell, you know, he's got a lot on his mind, trying to get his team ready going forward. And, you know, he can't even really think about the playoffs, obviously. You got to get there first. And, you know, he just wants to see some progress from his team. And, you know, what I was surprised was him saying he really felt like they hadn't put a whole game together. Well, I think he'd have to be pleased at what's going on so far tonight here through about a quarter and a half.
This kick will be short hopped right there at the 11, taken by Stevens, and coming up again across the 25, almost near the 30-yard line is Tyrus Franklin. As we go down to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, I got a really special treat for you from Countywide Service. I have Jonathan Yelitz. He's the sales manager, and his son, Joshua. Now, as cute as you are, big guy, your son is absolutely precious. And we've been look at it. Can you see his little shoes? Look at his little teddies. Look at that. Okay, I'm sorry. So tell me a little bit about you have kind of a way that people can save a little money, and there's a way they can save by mentioning little Joshua's name too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. We're having because it's fall now, and fall's all about football, family, and furnace repair. So if the customers that see us on the game tonight, they call in, we're going to do a $69 special this weekend, the 22nd, on Sunday, to come out and do a tune-up on their furnace and let them make sure that their furnace is operating safe and ready to go.
But they have to mention Joshua's name, right?
Yep, they have to mention little Joshua's name that they seen him on TV.
And you see his little shirt? It's a Countywide shirt to it.
Joshua,
Matches.
let him see your shirt.
I don't think we're going to get there yet. Anyway, thank you, and I appreciate you bringing your little boy out. This is great. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Joshua, a little camera shy, but a heck of a deal there. $69. Just mentioned Joshua's name. Chuck, I didn't know that was the three things in the fall. Fall, football, family, furnace repair.
There you go. You learn something new every night. I just like Joshua's skids, man. Fashion. Statement.
Little Ralph Lauren. And you making fun of the uniforms are.
Not yet, but I will.
Yeah. Oh, just wait. We got a false start here on Stevens.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Stevens will have third down here for Conrad Hernandez. Is desperate to get something positive here going into the locker room, down 28-0. They'd love nothing more than to get a score here and have some momentum going into the half. It's 3rd and 9. Ramirez rolling to his left, fires, has a man, and is caught for a first down. Nice strike going against his body. Ramirez completing it to Michael Davenport. That's the younger brother of everything UTSA defensive end, Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, the coaches were telling me before the game that Marcus at one point as a freshman was a receiver too. And they said, we got to get this guy with his hand on the ground though. He's just too good and explosive there. But outstanding throw, as you said, by Josh Ramirez.
Inside handoff. He is more and more reminding me of DeMarcus Ware, the way he's coming off the line and the size that he's added. We'll have the call this weekend of David Bailiff's Rice Owls at UTSA. The Roadrunners have lost 2 straight to some very good Conference USA opponents in North Texas and Southern Miss, and they look to get back on the winning track Saturday at 6 right here on the CW35. Little screen set up, and Ramirez fires into a crowd, and it's incomplete. And that'll set up 3rd down and 8.
Great idea, great call, I thought, by Stevens. Take advantage of guys like Ronaldo Mason and the speed, and those guys wanted to come after the quarterback, but even better job by the O'Connor 2nd and 3rd lines of defense. They snuffed that out almost from the onset. Nowhere to go with that.
Big conversion opportunity right here for the Falcons. They want to keep this drive alive with 4:08 to play. O'Connor showing blitz. Ramirez running for his life. Now fires across the middle, and it's tipped and almost intercepted. And good coverage there by O'Connor. And the young man who was having such a great game earlier in the game, right there again as well, Grant Rustin. Jalen Hughes almost had the deflection. Or check that, it was Zaire Taylor who almost had the deflection as Hughes drops back to receive the punt.
Yeah, always a risky proposition throwing back across the field when you're on the run, but you got to credit Josh Ramirez. He's trying to make a play there on 3rd down, and just a better job by Grant Rustin playing center field to break it up.
DeJuan Elliott's low kick is bouncing still inside the 20 and down at the 19 by the Falcons. As we remind you to vote for the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge presented by CPS Energy. You can vote online right now at CW35.com. Chuck said there's 32 cheer squads nominated. Top 4 get to cheer at the U.S. Army All-American Bowl and the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB. Go to CW35.com and vote. Mason comes off the field, and the O'Connor offense on again, and this time they're playing Brown and Parr next to each other, guard and tackle on that left side. They set up what looks like to be a screen, and now just firing it and throwing it away is Sanchez.
And Zaya Williams, the junior defensive end. Let's see what he does. Just beats his man, and boy, I'll tell you what, he's got some nice closing speed, and pretty smart play there by Roel Sanchez, just getting rid of the football and living to fight another down.
And we may have a flag down as they're sorting it out. Referee David Aggleton.
Intentional ground. Offense. Spot foul. Loss of down. Second down.
All right, so Sanchez, I guess, got out of the pocket but didn't get the ball to the line of scrimmage. So that's grounding. Coming up on the CW35 after TNL tonight, we've got Supernatural and Arrow. That's all coming up on the CW35 after TNL. So it'll be second down and 19 for Roel Sanchez. He's got 3 receivers split to his left. He's looking that way already. Now he's going right one-on-one, single coverage, and he drops it right into the basket for a catch. How are they going to rule this? Shared possession.
Tie goes to the receiver every single time.
They're going to give it to him.
Dime.
Parker Robertson.
Are you kidding me?
Just dropped it right in the basket.
You know what was interesting is just watching Roel Sanchez's demeanor pre-snap. I mean, he's just playing with so much confidence. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, he's just chucking it up for grabs. Not at all. Wow, pinpoint precision on the front end of that.
First catch of the night for Parker Robertson. Did a good job to wrestle it away and move the change for 47 yards as he fires again to him. Another big catch and another first down.
Yeah, play so nice. Let's go there twice.
Robertson's only about the 5th or 6th favorite receiver of Sanchez on the season, but he's got 2 big catches tonight.
And that's tough if you're Stevens. You know, you had them backed up. You finally get a play going in your favor, and they just whack you for a big explosive downfield.
Inside handoff to the sophomore, and he fumbled it. Ball's out. It's loose. It's still loose, and it's bouncing near the goal line, and it went out of bounds. So that's going to be the old Dave Casper fumble forward.
Yeah, you talk about things going your way for O'Connor. Even when things go bad, you end up getting a positive play out of it. But, yeah, it was like the Holy Ghost play from Dave Casper, only this one was done unintentionally.
Yeah, and they've corrected that rule so that it goes back to the spot of the fumble so you can't gain yardage. It actually hit a player a foot and then a head and bounced out of bounds.
Catch
crazy.
The kid who got the ball stripped there. I wanted to do my Rammstein. Let me see you stripped.
No, 2 people know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Miracle Mattress red zone first down here, and going nowhere as Brandon Garza's the Stevens defense steps up here.
Yeah, needed a big play there, and that's 2 in a row. You get the strip, almost get the fumble recovery, and then you bow up and get another run stuffing play.
So it's going to be 3rd and 4 with 2:45 here. Of course, O'Connor can always rely on the right foot of Michael Lissy, all-star kicker, going to play in our all-star game, who's kicked more field goals than just about anybody else in town this year. Sanchez rolls right, fires right, caught. Jalen Hughes out at the 5. And it'll be 1st and goal, and Hughes limping around a little bit, but what a nice route. We talked about his route running ability. He found a way to get open right here.
Yeah, you fake the handoff. Stevens guys get caught looking in the backfield, and while that's going on, Hughes is running a nice route, finding himself open, makes the reception, and O'Connor continues the drive.
They'll look forward to finishing it right here behind that big offensive line. They've got Brandon Garza in at tailback now, and they'll hand it to him, and here comes Garza to that left-hand side, and Stevens doing a good job to blow it up, especially when you're going up against Brandon Brown and Logan Parr, both on that left side of the O'Connor offensive line.
Yeah, and Zaya Williams, Matthew Littlejohn, both doing a nice job on that. A couple other fellas as well from the Stevens side to snuff that one out.
2nd and goal from the 3. It's still Garza in. Grayson Lee, the near receiver. Jalen Hughes outside. It's an inside handoff to Garza. He lunges for the line, and he's got it. Another touchdown for Brandon Garza, and another touchdown for the O'Connor Panthers.
A sophomore with yet another touch, but unbelievable blocking up front. In fact, the blocking was so good, there were guys looking to throw a block. I think it was Grayson Lee, the wide receiver. Was it maybe Matthew Pedraza looking for somebody to block up there, and everybody just had a hat on a hat, and it was an easy walk-in.
Lissy splits them again, and you know, when they bring in their big nose guard, Price and Greer on special teams, and they line up Greer, Brown, Parr, they're as big as college football front.
Yeah, look at 88. He's just looking for somebody to hit.
Unbelievable size, unbelievable speed, and athletes all over the field, and they've got a couple of really special ones. And that's going to make the O'Connor Panthers tough to beat by anybody in town. Of course, they had that big win in week 2 or week 3 over Steele. It was an emotional win for them because that was the first time they had beaten the Knights, and that kind of set them on pace for the 6-0 start that they're at right now. They knew they were good, but when you beat Steele, it kind of validates you. And right now, they are on a collision course for Judson at some point. Hopefully, it won't be a first-round matchup like it was a year ago when you knocked one of the 2 best teams in town was to go out early. So,
well, yeah, I think what they learned from that Steele game was they must be good. When you turn the ball over 4 times in the first half and still win a football game against those guys, you know that had to give this team some confidence, overcoming all the negativity in that one.
Stevens will bring it out across the 20-25-yard line. Franklin is dropped there, and they'll have 1:17 left to do something with it and try and get on the scoreboard, down 35-0. And I would expect that you would see David Molesky take the foot off the gas in the second half, and we would see a lot of rest for some of these first stringers and see a lot of experience for some of the backups, because at this point it is all Panthers. Inside fake to Littlejohn, and keeping is Ramirez, and he picks up about 3.
Stevens kind of feeling this thing out here. You know, if they get a big play, it's one of those, then you start using your timeouts. If not, then be happy going into the locker room. Let me regroup and see if you can't get something going in the 3rd quarter.
You sure as heck don't want to give the football back to O'Connor. Not as explosive as they are. 2nd down and 8 with 40 ticks left. They'll hand it inside to Littlejohn. Does a nice job staying on his feet. Wow, what a run by Dorian Littlejohn.
Yeah, that's about as good a 10-yard run as you're ever going to see, right? Look at the balance, and that's one of the things that Coach Hernandez was telling us that he really appreciates from these kids. They're young, They got a new system with a new head coach who's trying to put his stamp on things, but they're going to fight you tooth and nail, start to finish. Look at this. A little hand on the ground, gets himself another 5 yards out of that.
Almost broke away. Really impressive. This will be the last play of the half. And they'll give it back to Littlejohn, and he'll cut inside. He'll get out of bounds right as the horn blows, and it's halftime here at Gus with the O'Connor Panthers in complete control, up 35-0 over Stevens. When we come back, don't forget we're going to have our Countywide Service Company halftime show. You'll hear from both bands and the Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in on Mike Hernandez and Coach Conrad Hernandez, who's with Mike right now.
Yeah, I am, and Coach, tough first half. It's hard to get on track, huh?
It is. You know, it starts with us. It's one play at a time right now, and we just got to get better and execute what we do.
So what do you think you're going to have to do to kind of get some traction in the second half?
Well, again, it starts with execution. We got to be smart and make sure that we are doing our assignments, all 11 of us. And that's why this game's the greatest game, because it takes 11 guys to play the game.
That's right, and a good coach. And you got it. You take care. We'll see you in the second half. Good luck.
All right, thanks, Mike. When we come back, it's the Countywide Halftime Show. Brandon Garza and the O'Connor Panthers in control, 35-0.
Welcome to the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
And welcome back. Again, it's halftime here on Thursday Night Lights. Halftime score, O'Connor Panthers are ahead 35-0 over the Stevens Falcons. I'm joined by CW insider Caitlin Munoz. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, so you've been busy. Of course, you had the show in Corpus Christi. Here
Brittany Cope, Rosie Yin, and Aaron Davis. The senior twirler is Caitlin Lockwood, and the featured twirler is Hannah Catcher. Today, the band performs portions of their last 3 movements of their UIL competition show entitled Welcome to the Jungle. We would like to congratulate the Panther Band on their grand championship at the Hill Country Marching Festival. Drums along Medina, and last week, 3rd place in finals. Class 6A at the 40th Annual West Lake Marching Festival. Join us Saturday night for our UIL performance at 7 p.m. at Ferris Stadium. And now from below Texas, the O'Connor High School Marching Band.
What a performance. You don't see much better than that. The O'Connor High School Marching Band, if you want to make them eligible for our Sprouts Farmers Market $5,000 band grant, text band 3 to 44332. That's band 3, no spaces, to 44332 for all the texting guidelines. You can go to the CW35.com as we go downstairs to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, looks like we got the technical issues out of the way. Again, joined by Caitlin Munoz, our CW35 insider. Okay, how's it going and what you been up to? You guys, you've been a busy lady.
I've been very busy, but Halloween's right around the corner, so we're going to do something really cool. It does not start until Tuesday, but we're going to be giving away 4 packs to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream. I went to check it out. It's so scary. They have bars, like themed bars with like these scary cocktails. It's awesome. You have to go. So hopefully you win tickets, and that'll start Tuesday.
Okay, and how do folks become part of the crew?
Part of the crew is very easy. Just text CW Crew to 44332. You're part of the crew. We'll send you some messages, and you have a chance to win lots of really neat things.
Okay, Caitlin, you get some rest. Thank you for coming out and joining us. Appreciate it. All right, don't go away. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more of the halftime show here on Thursday Night Lights. It's O'Connor versus Stevens.
You're watching the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
Welcome back. O'Connor leads Stevens 35-0 here at Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights at Gustafson Stadium. Hey, it's time to recognize tonight's Scholar Athletes of the Week. At the end of the season, one will be featured for a $10,000 scholarship presented by Vulcan Materials Company. Let's meet this week's students.
This is senior Roel Sanchez. Now, Roel is a quarterback for O'Connor High School. He also plays basketball and track, and he's an officer of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And believe it or not, he already knows what he wants to become.
One thing that I want to do is be a coach, and in order to do that, I also need to go into education and become a teacher.
And he says he's already trying to learn about coaching from his coaches.
I would describe myself as very understanding, especially right now at my age, and just knowing how, or what goes through my head and what goes on, as a player, and just also just being able to help out the likes and dislikes, or I guess the way I think of things. Just being able to relate to a player is the main thing of, I feel, that being a good coach.
And as far as his inspirations?
Definitely Coach Molesky. Like I said before, he really teaches us to be, not the best football player we can be, but the best person, and he's really helped me out with that.
Our next Scholar Athlete is Stevens High School senior David Orozco. Now, David plays football, runs track, and he's involved in many school and community activities. And he says the lessons that he's learned in football have really helped him develop lifelong character traits.
Well, football for me has definitely taught me how to compete and how to overcome obstacles in my life, and in the classroom it transfers to just working hard and just staying focused on what I have to do.
And it's worked for David. He has a 94.67 GPA, and he's a member of the National Honor Society and the Spanish Honor Society. And balancing all of that and sports, as you might imagine, is a challenge.
For me, I just think of a schedule for myself, and I make sure that I have my school and then practice and then go home and study and do what I have to do in the classroom.
And his whole family is there to help him accomplish his goals.
Throughout high school, I just owe my support to my mom, my dad, and definitely my brothers. They help me with schoolwork and making sure that I'm doing my best at all times.
David Orozco and Roel Sanchez, your Vulcan Materials Company Scholar Athletes of the Week.
You're watching the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show.
Welcome back to our Countywide Service Company Halftime Show. The O'Connor Band put on a heck of a show, and Stevens is doing the exact same thing. We'll take a listen. Wow, what performances by both bands tonight, Stevens and O'Connor. If you want to vote for Stevens for our Sprouts Farmers Market $5,000 band grant, just text band 14 to 44332. That's band 14 to 44332. Big kudos to both O'Connor and Stevens, two of the best we've seen all season.
Celebrate middle and high school teams that go beyond the game. San Antonio Sports and the U.S. Army are recognizing teams that have exhibited key values through their actions. This week, we recognize two schools programs whose service projects highlight beyond the game values. In the wake of Hurricane Harvey, the Reagan High School golf team rolled up its sleeves in Rockport to clear debris from the grounds of Church Unlimited, one of the community food and water distribution sites. They worked hard as a team and got the job done, grateful to help people in need. Students in Southwest High School's Fellowship of Christian Athletes regularly visit elementary schools in their district to motivate and encourage the little kids to make good grades and stay in school. They're great role models, welcoming them in the morning and helping them in the classrooms. All these young people demonstrate the beyond the game values of selfless service, caring, and respect. To learn how parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate their teams that go beyond the game, visit sanantoniosports.org.
Thank you for watching the Countywide Service Company Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half of tonight's game.
Welcome back. Time for our iDreamSA.com highlights. The O'Connor Panthers got out in a hurry. Millard Bradford going 71 yards. Just like that, it was 7-0. O'Connor, they never looked back. Stevens had a nice drive in the first quarter after DeJuan Elliott faked this punt on 4th down, but that drive fizzled, and so O'Connor went back to the air. Roel Sanchez, the pump and go. Jalen Hughes with a great concentration to make it 14-0. A 26-yard score. Brandon Garza then popped it outside and goes 38 yards to the house. It was 21-0 there early in the second. More Garza, his second TD on a short run, and more Garza here. His 3rd TD of the night, making it 35-0, and that is where we stand as O'Connor gets ready to receive the kick. Those are our iDream SA highlights. And Chuck, as we look at the statistics, the O'Connor defense also doing a very good job of just holding Stevens down, really nothing doing with 96 total yards.
Yeah, I mean, really a flawless first half for O'Connor, save for the one penalty, but just doing it all kinds of ways. They're rushing the ball very well, both with their running back and their quarterback doing a job on the ground, and then almost equal amount of yards passing it. So 332 total yards for O'Connor in the first half.
Our second half kickoff brought to you by Earnest Roofing. Earnest Roofing. They have you covered as a flag flies. We'll get it at the 35-yard line. Will the O'Connor Panthers, after that kick was kicked out of bounds, David Molesky's squad, I'm sure, had an interesting halftime talk about how to retain focus and remain focused even with this lead. And we'll find out exactly what Coach Molesky said as we ask our Mike Hernandez. Mike?
Yeah, you know what? You hit the nail on the head. He said he liked the way they came out and set the tone defensively, and then turned around and drove right down the field to score. He said he thought that really helped for the rest of the half, kind of get things going. And he said exactly that. He said that he was trying to, as he put it, inspire them to stay motivated for the next 24 minutes. He wanted to see them play the same kind of inspiring ball and stay in the game. So we'll see what they do here. I thought they might just shut down and just run the ball a lot, but they may be wanting to work on some more things just yet.
I hand it off to Taylor, the sophomore tailback. He gets across the 30 to nearly the 35-yard line. That is Zion Taylor. Again, he's the younger brother of Zaire, and all of a sudden, the entire line signaling for help from the sideline as one of those big offensive linemen has gone down in a heap. You hate to see that. We'll take a break while they attend to that young man. We'll be right back.
When play resumes, it will be O'Connor possession. 2nd and 5 for the Panthers from the O'Connor 35-yard line.
We're back. Cameron Chavez being attended to over on the bench. He walked off under his own power. That's good to see from the senior right guard. And O'Connor now facing a 3rd down and 5 after a short run from Zion Taylor.
Now, Chavez has done such a great job all year, so Jackson Brooks is going to get some snaps over there on the right side, number 66.
Sanchez brings another man in motion and turns and play action fakes it, wants to go deep, buying some time, still looking for a receiver. Boy, what great presence He knows exactly where he is at all times. Flag flies, but what presence by Roel Sanchez.
Yeah, what you like about that is he's trying to set defensive linemen up to buy himself more time and never took his eyes from being downfield, looking for a guy that might have come free.
Never really panicked either as he was being chased. We'll go down to the field for the explanation.
Illegal man downfield. Offense. That penalty is declined. Results of the player 4th down.
All right, you can see the poise of Sanchez. With this much time, obviously one of those big guys is going to get downfield. And
yeah, I didn't see it. I was looking for that because that's normally what's called when there's a flag like this, but just a great job and just speaks to the athleticism and poise of number 15.
And this will be the first punt of the night for the O'Connor Panthers. And it's Sanchez punting it away, and it won't be fielded, and it'll roll inside the 10, and it may end up getting all the way down to the 6-yard line, and does. What a kick. 59-yard punt from the quarterback, Roel Sanchez. Take a look at our TNL top 10. It's been 1-2 Judson O'Connor all year long, and not much movement in the middle of the poll either. Smithson Valley still at 3, followed by Clemens, Reagans, Brandeis, and Southwest. We've seen Jay move up from 10, and Highland sneak into the poll. Johnson's also been in and out most of the year, but really the top 7 have remained unchanged since about the 2nd week of the season.
Yeah, we got Highlands next week, so we'll get a chance to see those guys up close and personal, and the beat goes on at Highlands even with a coaching change, huh?
Really, Coach Juan Morales has established a culture that continues there as Little John rides a wave for a gain of about 3.
So a big stop there for Stevens coming out of the halftime. Get the ball right back to their offense, and gave up a lot of field position not fielding that punt, but those are difficult, man. Those line drives like that, and you're trying to run to the spot. If you're the deep back, try to catch that. Sometimes you're better off letting it drop as opposed to trying to field it.
Ramirez fires incomplete, and you know, Conrad Hernandez has an interesting situation here because, you know, obviously O'Connor's in control of this game, but as you break down this district, O'Connor's probably going to be the #1 seed, along with Brennan. Brandeis will be right there, and that's going to leave another playoff spot open, and Stevens is in that mix after beating Clark. Stevens and Warren and Jay are all going to be right there as 3 teams playing probably for that 4th spot, and so they've got a lot to play for still. That ball rolls out of bounds. They play that zone play as we take a look at the standings, and the 2 top teams will play for the district championship. Right now that would be Brandeis and O'Connor, and it looks like that may hold up, although Jay may have something to say about that. And then the 2 play the 3 seeds, and they take 4 teams total. So Warren will play Brennan, Marshall will play Jay, Brandeis and O'Connor will play each other. The winner's the #1 seed, the loser's the #2. And so somebody else is trying to sneak in there. You got to be in the top 3 in your zone to have a chance. There's Jalen Hughes, watch out for him. He's brought down right at about the 35-yard line, and when we come back, the Panthers will have it inside Stevens territory. We're back in the America's Diamond Smile Cam is fired up on some Stevens students who are having a good time out at the stadium here on a Thursday night. And talking about having a good time, Roel Sanchez and the O'Connor Panthers lead 35-0, and they're on about the 30-yard line. Brandon Garza gains about 1. Straight ahead dive. Seeing that #1 offensive line still in there. And got a stoppage on the field. A substitute. He'll get back to play here quickly.
I don't know what happened there, but
stop the clock for a second. I don't know what that was.
Dylan Murray, 22, was busy blocking guys. That's all I know. Doing his job, taking out a couple.
2nd down and 9. Sanchez inside handoff. Across the 35, still on his feet. Finally buried there at about the 25-yard line. Brandon Brown doing a great job of blocking downfield. At one point, it looked like he was carrying the football. Big 75. Again, just a junior. 3 receivers split left on a 3rd and 6 for O'Connor. Garza, the tailback. Parker Robinson split right, looking his way, firing his way. Robertson, good coverage downfield. That was DeJuan Elliott on the coverage, and one of the few misses tonight by Roel Sanchez.
Yeah, Elliott just blanketing the wide receiver on that play, doing a very nice job, stride for stride. We saw earlier tonight, Parker Robertson able to beat single man, get a touchdown out of it, but DB equal to the task on that one.
All right, so it's 4th down. They're going to go for it, and it's a play action. Sanchez fires over the middle for Jalen Hughes. He's got it caught. He's got a 1st down, and he's inside our Miracle Mattress red zone at about the 18-yard line.
We talked about Jalen Hughes and what a playmaker he's been, and he's been a little hobbled here and there, and he took a man-sized shot at the end of this, just hanging in there and really doing the job. I mean, it speaks a lot when you're up 35-0 and you got the game in hand, but this young man's had a whale of a ball game, and talk about his athleticism all day long. That's going to show up in the tape room when you see a guy sell out like that, making a play on 4th down.
Big 4th down conversion there as they hand inside to Brandon Garza, and he goes across the 15. That'll set up 2nd down. And no huddle, going quickly here are the Panthers. Grayson Lee split to the left-hand side, along with Sam Castillo. And it's Garza again. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight. A swarm of Falcons knocks him down about the 15-yard line, and a great defensive job by the black and red.
Committing a lot of extra guys to the run to try to get a stop here as time winds in the 3rd quarter. This little dive play, and guys just staying at home and making plays, including
Davon Martin's been around the ball all night long.
Maybe on Wilkinson Alexander as well. Called his name earlier on that special teams play.
Straight drop. Sanchez now rolls back to his left. Going to run it. He's got some room. Roel Sanchez going to stick his head down for the goal line, and he's got a touchdown. Wow. What a play by Roel Sanchez. Showing his speed and his toughness, diving for that goal line.
He took a wicked shot at the end of this play, but you're right. I mean, he's looking downfield, doesn't find anything, does a little reverse pivot, goes to the left, sees all kinds of green, and then, wow, he's going to cut it back the other way, lunging for the goal line, but either way, he recovered his own fumble, but I think he was across before he coughed it up.
Got back to him. Lissy's kick is good. 42-0. O'Connor over Stevens here at Gus. Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium. Time for our Texas silkscreen and embroidery player profile. Michael Lissy is not only a great kicker, he's a smart kid, 97 average, a 3-year starter. He's had 3 game winners. And you just take a look, as I said, he's also one of our all-stars. And you just take a look at what he's done this year. He's made from 43, 42, 41, 37, 35, 34, 31, 24, 39, 27, and 27. Those are his career field goals. And he's money every single time. They've gone to some backups, including the man who kicked that one off, and Stevens will have the ball in their own territory as Franklin, again, the return man tonight.
And Jonathan Renteria making a really nice tackle there on special teams for the Panthers.
And again, Stevens is coaching them up for much more than just tonight. This is a team that's got a couple district games ahead of them that will determine their playoff destiny. First and 10. Ramirez keeps and rolls to his right and fires, and it's incomplete. Good coverage out there as we go down to Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, and I'm joined by Roland Sandoval, the O'Connor band director. That was a great halftime performance. There was a lot of choreography all over the place.
Sure, I sure appreciate it. Yeah, the theme is Welcome to the Jungle, so we're doing music from soundtracks that have jungle themes like King Kong and elements like that.
Now, so this weekend coming up is the big UAL competition for y'all?
Yes, at Ferris Stadium. The O'Connor band's performing at 7 p.m. at Ferris on Saturday.
So anybody can come out to that?
Yes, come on out. It's a great night of music. All the north side schools and then the small country schools around the city are going to be performing all day long.
Well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I tell you what, that's worth the price of admission. Come out here or go out to Ferris on Saturday night. That was really impressive. I enjoyed that halftime show.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Sanchez is obviously doing a great job. I mean, we were both riveted watching. I mean, just the sheer number of kids that they have involved in all the moving parts, and then the soloists were outstanding.
It's amazing there's that much talent. Both schools, O'Connor and Stevens,
I mean,
terrific performances.
They had a young lady singing, which was nice. They had another young lady soloed up on some sort of wind instrument that I could not identify, of course. Very spectacular, though.
Great stuff. That's what we do here on TNL. We don't only bring you the football game. We spotlight the cheerleaders, the spirit groups, and of course the bands as well. It's a community effort, and we appreciate all the athletic directors who see the value in giving some great exposure to these fantastic young people. That ball goes out of bounds. Nice kick from DeJuan Elliott.
Yeah, that thing was rooted.
He's kind of a, a safety running back type, and he's kicking for the first time tonight. 48-yarders had been kicking him about 6 feet off the ground all night long, and all of a sudden he uncorks one. Hey, don't forget, if you liked those bands, you can vote for either O'Connor or Stevens by texting either Band 3 or Band 14 to 44332, and they'll be eligible for the $5,000 band grant. The most votes wins the grant.
Stevens band doing a nice job tonight as well.
Absolutely. Very impressive themes and choreographies. It's fun to watch them earlier in the year and then see how much better they are at the end of the year because they've been putting those UIL performances together. All the choreography and working on it. Week by week, they get better. When you get this late in the season, they just unload them.
Eli Sanchez in at quarterback. Also see some time at wide receiver, but the senior getting some snaps under center.
We thought we'd see Brandon Butler, who's the backup, but we're going to see Eli pulling the trigger now for this O'Connor offense. He turns and hands, and that one's going nowhere. A loss on the play. Still Brandon Garza back there.
Yeah, big Zach Maldonado getting him some running back action behind the line of scrimmage there. The senior defensive lineman, number 92. A really nice job filling a hole right there.
And we're seeing the backup offensive line in there, the second group, and they don't lose a whole lot of size.
Not at O'Connor, they don't.
There's Garza, again, nowhere to run, and a great job of the Stevens Falcons swarming him down there. Among others, Big number 92, Zach Maldonado in there again. O'Connor will punt it away.
Yeah, we'll see Cade Cullen back. Number 52 get a little snap right here. Right on the money.
That kick bounces at the 40, and it'll be downed right there at about the 42-yard line. We'll be handing out the hardware afterwards, thanks to Charlie Drago and Monarch Trophy Studio. They provide the trophies as always, our champion and MVP. If you have any trophy needs, awards, plaques, businesses, young sports teams, whatever, give them a call. 344-3777 or mtsawards.com. And this is only the second time across midfield for the Stevens Falcons, as we're inside of 4 minutes here. And a new ball carrier for the Falcons, and it's a big gainer of about 11 for Nathan Wash. And that was clean.
We talked about the youth of this Stevens football team and how valuable even these snaps are, Don, as you know. I mean, there's so much to play for these guys yet. So, I mean, each and every snap that they get is, you know, one step closer to where they want to be.
Impressive. Another Kielbasa smoke meats first down for Wash, and they give it to him again. And nice tackling out there by the O'Connor defense as he picks up maybe 3.
Yeah, Antonio Revisa, senior linebacker, making a play right there. Out on the edge.
That'll set up second down and 10. Right at 3 minutes to go here.
Stevens fans still having some fun.
Absolutely.
Get out on a Thursday night, beautiful weather. Get to enjoy this great facility out here. Always love coming to Gus, don't you?
Always. Legendary stadium over here. Been here for many great games. Changed quite a bit over the years. This press box is a lot nicer than it used to be. Remember we had to climb through the wooden
Was that here?
attic stairs to get to the top to stand on the roof?
I don't know, even that was fun.
I stood on the roof many times at the old press box here.
Tate Kasurik making a play on the last play.
And whistles blow as we may have another false start. This will go against the Falcons. Here's the call.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
David Aggleton and his crew doing a great job tonight. Hey, if you want to be an official, there's a shortage in the state of Texas, and just contact saofficials.com and the local chapter of TASO, the Texas Association of Sports Officials. Train you, sign you up, good extra money there. And by the way, I saw just this week that they have voted to increase the pay. As we may have a turnover, they're going to give it to O'Connor. Zaire Taylor may have picked that one off right at the sideline. I thought it was tipped away and out of bounds.
Now Josh taking a lot of heat and running for his life. He's flinging it out of bounds, or trying to, and well, I don't know how whoever got that ball did a heck of a job, not only catching it, but keeping his feet in bounds. Connor had several guys over there ready to make a play.
All right, so the Panthers have it back. And it's the young Taylor, Zaire's little brother Zion, a sophomore, gain of about 2. Here's a little cleaner look of the Oski.
Oh, he lost his footing there at the end. Didn't see that, but
yeah, 1 foot was down. Well, it's hard to call live.
Hard to call on replay.
The headlinesman was all over it. Second and 10. Ball's out. Another fumble. Taylor second, and Stevens has it back. And the Falcons will have good field position. Coming up with the football was Evian Wilkinson Alexander.
Yeah, it's about the third time we've called that young man's number tonight.
Good for him.
It has been all he can eat.
So the Falcons will run out onto the field with a little pep in their step as they try to avoid the shutout with $1:04 left in the third quarter. Keeping is Wash. Wash's yards per carry average is phenomenal tonight. He's showing why maybe they should be giving him the football more. Picks up another kielbasa smoked meat first down.
Yeah, and I guess we finally got an angle where we could see the number of the young man that got the interception on the previous possession, and that was Jack Jennings, number 19, the sophomore DB for O'Connor. So both of these defenses coming up with turnovers here in the last couple of rallies.
All right, 1st and 10, right at the 22. And it's Wash again, and this time he's stopped cold after a gain of 1, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
See if everybody gets out of that one unscathed, man. These guys are still bringing it, both teams. Matthew Benitez, number 57, the junior. Like he got a little nicked on that play, but he's going to suck it up and keep going.
And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. They don't get it off. So we'll switch ends, and when we come back, it'll be 2nd down and 11 for Stevens. They trail 42-0, but they're on the move here at Gustafson Stadium. All O'Connor so far. Stevens trying to get on the scoreboard.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Lymphedema MD.
Welcome back. Time for our iDreamSA.com highlights connecting San Antonio teams to opportunity. Roel Sanchez is 7-11 for 166 yards passing, but he can also duck it and run it and score it on the ground. He did a nice job there. And with the O'Connor defense coming up with that pick. They've since fumbled. Stevens got it back, and now the Falcons have the football and are moving at the 23-yard line of O'Connor. Going deep as Ramirez got a man, and it's just incomplete. Good coverage back there.
Dimitri Walter, I think, right?
Yeah, Dimitri Walter.
Yeah, doing a really nice job playing right through that football. You know, that's the thing. Ball's up in the air. Receiver may have a crack on you. Keep playing through the ball, and even if the receiver's able to catch it, he was able to push him out of bounds either way. So good job by Dimitri finishing that one off.
So it'll be 3rd down and 11. O'Connor trying to protect the shutout. Stevens trying to get on the board. They said trips left. And a whistle blows as we may have a timeout or delay a game.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Let's go down to the sidelines and Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, I'm joined by the Stevens band director. This is John Dominguez. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
So the halftime show, I thought was very, very good. And you were saying you're very happy with what you saw tonight, getting ready for this coming Saturday.
Yeah, we're really happy. We're coming into the last few rehearsals that we have before our UIL contest on Saturday, and they're peaking at just the right time. We're really happy.
So what happens at this competition and what happens after that?
Well, it's an all-day competition pretty much. It starts around 1 o'clock at Ferris Stadium. Starts with 2A bands and ends with 6A bands, and we're the last band to perform. We'll warm up and go on the field and do what we just did pretty much right now.
You were talking about the ratings. You get a rating.
Mm-hmm. There's ratings. UIL ratings gives rating 1 through 5. 1 is being superior, all the way through 5, and of course the sought-after one is the first division, and we're hoping for that on Saturday.
Yeah, well, if you did anything close to tonight, I think you got that in the bag.
I feel good about it. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Congratulations.
Thank you
on
very
your
much.
efforts. And you've been doing this for 18 years?
18 years, a lot of fun.
Wow. All right, back to you guys.
Excellent stuff. Thanks, Mike. Had a penalty on a play. Stevens had a positive game, but it's all for naught. They'll back it up near their 38-yard line. 3rd down and 11. Ramirez still in there, still trying to move his team. Press coverage on the outside. Fires to his receiver, and he was just under pressure. And they're going to throw a late flag and call pass interference
Flags
on Walker. And you know, it's a 42-0 game. If it was close, if I was David Molesky, I would argue that ball's uncatchable. But we'll see how they sort it out. Looks like they're
Defensive pass interference. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic first down.
all right, so they'll step it off and give him a kielbasa smoke meat first down. Walker smacks himself on the helmet.
Yeah, it's
Thought he had pretty good coverage.
Yeah, the guy's just playing.
So it'll be first down and 10. Again, inside the 35. Ramirez hands it, going nowhere as the middle of that O'Connor front, led by big number 67. That's Patrick Vargas blowing that thing up.
Yeah, we talked about so many things left to play for this young Stevens team, but you know, their first-year head coach Conrad Hernandez has done a really nice job getting him to this point. I mean, he's been at the school since it opened in 05. The staff pretty much in place.
Yep.
And so in terms of, you know, having a seamless transition from Coach Hemp, who, as you said, got kicked upstairs and working at the front office, to Coach Hernandez has been pretty seamless for these guys. You know, all they did was pretty much change the nameplate, but he's definitely putting his stamp on some things. But he said the hardest thing that he's had to learn as a former coordinator himself, that now that he's the top guy, is you've got to learn to trust your coordinators, and he's doing that week in and week out. But, you know, you go from just calling the plays to overseeing the entire operation, and, you know, first-year coaches are going to learn some things along the way. And he says it's been really a lot of fun, though, guiding these kids and how easy they are to coach.
Ramirez throws a little high for his intended receiver across the middle on 3rd and a mile, so it'll be 4th down. You know, down 42-0 at this part of the field, right there at the 29. Might as well go ahead and go for it, and they will. Unless just for fun you want to give your kicker a shot, because they love testing themselves, but he already missed a 47-yarder tonight. So Ramirez will sling it. He's pressured, gets out of it. He could run for it. He's got the 20. He's going to have the first down. He loses the football. It's out. It's a scrum for it. We'll see who got it. And Stevens recovers.
Did they cover for the first down?
And they did. I think depends on where they spot it, but the marker's right at the 19.
Well, you see, O'Connor comes on a delayed blitz. Josh gets free. He just loses the ears, and then you're right. It is everybody looking for the loose ball, and I don't know who that was, but that was darn good hustle coming in the back end and recovering the football. Unfortunately for Stevens, it was short of the sticks, so the ball is going to go back to O'Connor.
All right, when we come back, it's 42-0, and O'Connor will have the football. So if you're asking how in the heck is this O'Connor's ball, well, it's not where it's recovered, it's where it came out, because, again, you cannot advance a fumble, and it came out short of the stick, and that's why O'Connor's got it on 1st and 10 and bulling forward for about 2 more.
We've had a couple of
Zion Taylor.
Couple of holy rollers tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Testing the rule book. Taylor's had a hard time tonight. 2 fumbles on it, but they like him. He's got, of course, his big brother's a star senior DB, and he's going to grow into that kind of body. He's going to be a star here by the time he's a senior. Tough running for him right up the middle as a sophomore. Still going to put on weight and work on his ball security, but obviously a talented young back. .8:17 to play. O'Connor over Stevens 42-0, and a 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers. We're seeing some different Panthers getting a chance for some reps and some playing time. It's Taylor again, right up the middle, running hard. Hey, Chuck, time for another one of our Texas silkscreen and embroidery player profiles. Nate Gonzalez, the senior, 89 GPA, 2-year letterman. Also a star in track, volunteers at the food bank for the Special Olympics, and he's on the Athletic Leadership Council. So congratulations to that young man, well-rounded individual.
Yeah, I mean, that's a kid right there. They got him moving all over the football field. I mean, he's defensive line. They put him at linebacker. He's a captain. And really, it's his first year playing. It's his turn to step up, as the coaches were telling us, and he has done everything and more that they've asked him, and really had a fine senior season and will be rewarded for all that later this year.
Absolutely, he has made it already to our San Antonio Sports All-Star game. As the ball goes over on downs, and Stevens again has hope near midfield, trying to get on the scoreboard, down 42-zip. Inside handoff, and we'll see this clock go quickly now as both teams look to get out of here unscathed. As we tell you about the Beyond the Game concept, what a story that was that we saw earlier from Chuck, and you saw some of the things that the Reagan kids were doing and others. Kids at all of these schools going beyond the game, volunteering, whether it's down at the coast helping hurricane relief, helping kids in their own community, going to the elementary schools and motivating, encouraging elementary school students. If you know of a middle school or high school team that's going beyond the game, you can nominate them at sasports.org.
James Shavira getting some snaps behind center, number 7 for Stevens, and yeah, beyond the game for O'Connor too. You know, tonight they ran out through the breakthrough with some Special Olympians, and you know, I was talking to the coaches before the game. Greg Maxwell, he was telling me what an unbelievable job of support they get from their own principal, Jackie Horace, who's a former athlete herself. You know, just says, you know, the way that O'Connor runs everything is just top of the line and just a great place to work for the coaches and the staff.
Coming back to catch the football, doing a great job to adjust, was number 80, Gabriel Flores. Take a look at our America's Diamond Smile Cam. The Stevens Spirit Squad still happy and bubbly. They're not looking at the scoreboard. How can you not smile when you have a bow like that in your hand?
That's right. And you're getting some tube time. It's always good.
Inside handoff, watch out. They may score. Touchdown, Stevens Falcons. Carson Prouty rather, right up the gut. Had nothing but daylight, ate it up, and Stevens is off the schneid.
O'Connor doing a jailbreak on the run blitz here, and just running through some arm tackles, big fella. Get you some tape time and 6 points. Nice job.
That'll have him smiling over there. Carson Prouty with the score, as Stevens avoids being shut out here with 5 minutes and 34 seconds to go. And on to kick the extra point is Oscar Munoz. His kick is up, and it's good. We've got 5:34 left to go here at Gus. It's all O'Connor, but Stevens gets on the board. We're coming back on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Welcome back. Conrad Hernandez's squad is on the board as Stevens trails O'Connor 42-7, and they'll kick it off.
Yeah, he was really looking forward to this game tonight. You know, he was so respectful in his comments about what Coach Molesky's done over at O'Connor. He said, you know, I'm looking forward to this game because I really want to see where we're at. We know what we're looking at as we go down the road, not only tonight, but in our last ball game as we try to make the playoffs. But he says it's always good to play O'Connor because, you know, you not only get the test of playing these guys, but Coach Molesky has been setting the bar in this district for so long. We want to be where they're at some point. And we know it's not going to be easy trying to get there, but, you know, you got to like that. I mean, you know, coaches are telling their kids, hey, you know, we're not backing down from a fight. We're going to go in. We're going to give it the best we can, and we're going to be shooting for what these guys are doing over there and what they've done so well and so consistently over the last decade.
Block in the back. Kicking team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, and especially this year. I mean, last year was a special O'Connor team, and then most of their stars come back this year, and they just got so much talent all across the field. We've talked about it all night long with their combination of size on both interior lines and then athletes on every skill position: running back, wide receiver, quarterback, defensive back, linebackers.
Yeah, you see Coach Maxwell there on the left, who's been there, one of the oldest tenured guys at the school. Went to college with Greg, so we're going to give him some face time. But, you know, as we watch this little run play on first down, Coach Molesky was talking about how he really feels like this squad has handled its business in terms of the accolades and the press that they've gotten, and every team's got its own personality, and you never know how they're going to go out and play. But he says this is a really loose group, and they just never get overly excited. And you know, Molesky said, man, when I was a player, I was high-strung, and you know, the kind of guy that, you know, look at me on game day, and you know, one of those fellas. But he said he wished he had more guys like that, but he doesn't. He says this is who this group is, and as you know, a former defensive end guy who blew snot bubbles out his nose when he played. He says, I don't get it, but it's who we are, and he's comfortable with that, with who these guys are.
Completed pass down to the 30, and a host of Falcons are there to snuff that out before it gets too much of a gain as we go to third down. And Chuck, we thought we might, you know, break it out early tonight on the second quarter, but it's time for the gentle musings of the uniform czar. I know it's your favorite part of the show. Excited?
Absolutely. I always like to hear what you have to say because you go into so much detail.
Here's the thing.
And you use words that I've never heard before.
Like aesthetic?
That and many others.
Okay. So before I give any sort of criticisms at all, I want to make perfectly clear that this is the Uniform Czar's game of the year. Okay. Massive thumbs up to both Stevens and O'Connor. These are two of the cleanest looks all season, if not the two cleanest, playing head-to-head. I love the color scheme, first of all, that Stevens is going with tonight, with the black and the gray pants and the black helmets and the stripes. They've got a great UCLA shoulder stripe, and their color of red is a crimson that really pops on the black. I love that. They've also got the Oklahoma pant stripe, which is a wide triple stripe, and that's A+. The only thing that I would criticize is the helmet, and I'll tell you why. They're combining the Buckeye award system that Ohio State made popular with some sort of tomahawk or something that they're putting on the helmets as awards, little falcons, and but they're combining that with a script name. And you can't name me one great helmet logo where you spell out a name. I would go with a capital F or a capital S for Stevens, but that's my only criticism. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful look. And we'll get more into the O'Connor uniforms when we come back, but they're asking us to take a break.
Please.
Just in time. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, and O'Connor is going to punt it away here on 4th down. 4th and 8 with 3:53 to play. 42-7 on O'Connor. And we're seeing some new participants here as they'll wave this one out. That punt off the foot of Magnus Meyer, linebacker, who also does some kicking. And Chuck, to get back to my point about the uniforms real quickly, O'Connor has one of the most original shoulder stripes I've ever seen, and it's an A+. I've told you before, they've got great, great, clean look. The pants, I wish the stripe went all the way down. It's cut off there at the knee. That's okay, because they make up for it with their simplicity and their Dallas Cowboy helmet stripe, which is another really classic, clean look. Thumbs up to both schools' fashion designers. Do they have those on the coaching staff? Who do you think designs the uniform? The head coach?
I don't know. I have no clue. Never once have I considered it, actually. I told you, I'm the guy that goes to work to the same place for 20-something years, and every now and then I'll notice something that I'd never noticed before, even though it had been there for 20 years, because I'm not looking for stuff like this. That's why I enjoy your perspective on these things, because your brain clearly works differently than mine.
Oh, yeah. No, uniforms is a big part of the game. Can't come out here looking shoddy with silly numeral fonts, or, you know, some of these teams will come out with, these are good classic looking uniforms.
They may have been made by Texas silk screen and embroidery.
You never know. You never know. Nike is O'Connor's supplier for sure. They've got a unique helmet with the OC on one side and the Pittsburgh Panther, University of Pittsburgh Panther on the other side of the helmet.
See, I would have never made that correlation either.
It's an oversized logo. It's cool. New quarterback running for his life and losing yardage, and good defense there by the O'Connor Panthers as we tick down near 2 minutes. You wouldn't have noticed the Pittsburgh Panther logo?
Nope.
Hey, don't forget to vote for our All-Star Cheer Challenge presented by CPS Energy. Vote today at CW35.com.
Go, clock, go.
I'm done. Okay. I appreciate you indulging me.
No, and I do. I like hearing it, honestly.
I'm sure you do. My wife says to me, "You're so weird."
Oh, here we go.
Taking off and running for the second time tonight, and not quite going to get the first down because it was only 4th and 24. Was a young man DeJuan Elliott, who's done a great job tonight in that position. Got nothing to lose. Why not?
Quite a number of rushing yards for him by game's end.
So you know what they could do? Since they give you that little silver falcon on the helmet, they could go with a silver gray helmet like Ohio State and go with a black falcon sticker. Just a completely clean gray helmet, and then give those black stickers. I would like that.
You don't like that little, like, falcon claw there in the middle?
I don't like script on a helmet.
Okay. His talons.
Our crack statistician, Mark Kusenberg, letting me know that the punter now, Elliott, now leads Stevens in total offense with 35 yards rushing on 2 fakes.
Yeah, that just speaks to the job, obviously, that the O'Connor D had tonight. I mean, a whale of a game all the way around. No question about that. As we take a look at our America's Diamond Smile Cam. Young lady still having fun in the stands. We'll take us down to the final gun here.
O'Connor will snap it 1, maybe 2 more times, and that'll do it And they'll walk out of here with a 42-7 win. Stay undefeated on the year. They'll go to 7-0. David Molesky's squad, one of the class teams in San Antonio. And when it's all said and done, you will see Judson, this team right here, Smithson Valley. Something tells me Steele's going to sneak back up in there somehow. And we're going to have an exciting playoff run coming up here in about 3 weeks. Don't count out these Falcons. They've got a couple more district games, and they'll be knocking on the door for one of those 3 or 4 seeds, battling that out with Warren and Jay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're O'Connor, and, you know, again, it's always a fist fight when you start the playoffs. I mean, I guess if things keep going as they are, they'd get Clemens in the first round. I mean, it's just amazing the way this stuff sets up.
We got Clemens coming up in a couple of weeks, and we've got Reagan, our TNL top 10. Thursday Night Lights just keeps getting better. Our final score tonight, 42-7. When we come back, we'll go down to the field and hand out the hardware. The O'Connor Panthers, 42-7 victors here tonight.
Welcome to the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights postgame report.
The Monarch trophies are waiting, but not for long. Let's go down to the sidelines. Mike Hernandez with the victorious Panthers.
I am with the victorious O'Connor Panthers. How about it, guys? Yeah! Did you guys think you played all right tonight? Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. You've been listening to Coach, that's right. Coaches always want you to do a little bit better. You guys had a stellar performance, and again, congratulations on being undefeated this season. I know you got to finish it out, and I know you're taking one game at a time, but you all certainly look good, and we were talking about this earlier. Compared to just a few weeks ago when we had you on Thursday Night Lights, you guys are at another level, so congratulations again. All right, we're going to hand out our MVP trophy for the game, and I got to tell you, everybody played outstanding. There's 3 or 4 people and the whole offensive line that could get this. But we're going to go with your running back, sophomore number 27, Brandon Garza. Congratulations. 3 touchdowns tonight. Now, go ahead and turn to the camera so mom and dad can see you at home. What'd you think about tonight's game?
It was perfect. We did things as a unit like we would today, and this week we were just perfect.
So did you feel coming into the game tonight that you guys, were going to be on a roll? Did you think you were peaking?
Oh, yes, sir. From the first play to the last play, we knew it was going to be done.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, congratulations. Another great effort by you and by your team. How about a hand again? For Brandon Garza, your MVP for today. Also, while I have you guys here, where's Roel? Oh, there you are. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
Good, good. I don't have the stats on you, man, but I don't think you threw more than 3 or 4 incomplete passes the entire game. You were like spot on. Great game. Oh, 7 for 11, I'm being told. 166 yards and 1 touchdown. 43 on the ground and 1 touchdown as well on the ground. See, this information just comes to me in my brain. It's well, congratulations on another wonderful, stellar performance.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
What do you think about the team now? You've been with the team last year. As you progress this year, how do you think you guys are moving along?
Oh, the beginning of the season, we were able to get the wins, but we still had a lot of mistakes. And as we get through the year and starting to get into district, we're starting to fix some of those things. And it's positive, and it's going to be good for us to get going into the playoffs.
Yeah. So you got anything to say to your line? Hey, let me get the offensive line to stand up. Look at that. I want to know what you feed these boys, Coach. How are you, son?
Good.
Well, how much do you weigh?
Brown.
290.
290. Quit looking so tall, okay? And what about you, son?
275.
275.
270.
Wow. Wow. How much you weigh? 230. 2:30.
He's on a diet.
Wow. All right. You guys are great. Go ahead and sit down. How about a handful of big O-line? Coach. Thank you, Roel. All right. Outstanding effort. I mean, just a great. You got a great bunch of young men here.
We do. We got a really good group of kids, and we're excited about them. And they come out every night and really play hard. So that's the biggest challenge right there.
So I know you take kind of one game at a time philosophy, but just looking ahead, how do you feel, if you can remember, back to last season about this point, and where you were at and the competition ahead and what you're seeing this year?
Well, and I won't be a coach here, but, last year's team is not here. This is a new team, and there's still a lot of things ahead of us. And there's no question we're excited about where we are. I mean, how can you not be? But there's still a lot of challenges ahead of us. And we're not going to look too far ahead, because we're going to play next week a really good football team in John Jay, and they're playing really well right now and have a lot of confidence. And so we're going to have to look at that right now. But to say, we're excited about where we are right now, and how can you not be? So it was a good night for us.
Spoken like a true coach. All right, listen, I'm going to, again, step out of the way. Here is your Thursday Night Lights Champion Trophy. I present to you your O'Connor Panthers winners tonight, 42-7 over the Stephen Falcons.
Another impressive performance by O'Connor. They run their record to 7-0, and Coach Molesky was talking about the John Jay Mustangs coming up next. Jay is one of those teams in this district that's threatening for a playoff spot, and they've got Jay and then Clark, and then, of course, right now they're on a collision course with Brennan for that playoff to determine the 1-2 seed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy going out with these guys. I mean, Jay, we knew they would be better this year, but I don't know that we thought that they would be this good with their talented quarterback and how they're scoring points. And then same thing for Clark. We had them earlier on TNL. They've had a couple just excruciating losses, but they are super talented. They've got a wonderful quarterback, some good, tall, talented receivers to go to on offense. Clark has been putting up a lot of points. So, O'Connor going out, I think this is going to be two really good tests for these guys as they try to move forward and get into the postseason. But clearly, you can't beat the start. You're 7-0, and Coach Molesky talked all week about his team really not having put a full game together, and they didn't have to really do that tonight because this game was pretty much over at halftime. But that's as solid a performance, I think, if you're the coach, that you could expect from your bunch in those first two quarters. And clearly, they made some strides tonight. That was a clean performance.
I said they're on a collision course to face Brennan in the for the district championship. Brennan actually plays Brandeis tomorrow night for the first place in Zone A, so Brandeis may be heard from tomorrow night before this is all said and done. Again, O'Connor 42, Stevens 7. We'll be back to wrap it up when we come back. Welcome back to Gustafson Stadium. All quiet now as O'Connor has defeated Stevens 42-7 here on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. And right now it's time for our pick and pull collision of the game. With a name like Diamond Rios, how can you not be awarded something? Diamond putting the pressure
I like that.
on the Stevens defense. My wash was clean play, didn't get any reaction, so appreciate that. And also it's time for our Night Office Solutions play of the night, and it was the one from the get-go, Millard Bradford. And Chuck, we're going to watch this young man play on Saturdays someday.
Yeah, and the reports we were getting was that he was a little under the weather, but you would not have known it when he was in there. He was still awfully special and still looked the part. And again, can't say enough about the big guys up front. I mean, they'll take that hole any day of the week. And if you give them that kind of space, look out.
That is our Night Office Solutions play of the night. We're coming back to Gus right after this.
You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Jack in the Box.
O'Connor wins it 42-7. Here's the iDreamSA.com highlights of the game, connecting San Antonio teens to opportunity. And You saw our play of the night. It was Millard Bradford going for 71, and that got O'Connor going, and they never looked back, Chuck.
Well, you know, as big as that hole was, you got to like the shake and bake on the back end of that run, too. That didn't get enough love from me earlier.
DeJuan Elliott had a couple of fake punt big gains. But the little pump and go to Jalen Hughes was another gem. Hughes doing a great job of keeping focus, fighting through the face guard. And then our MVP, Brandon Garza, first of his 3 touchdowns to the outside, 21-0 O'Connor. And it was the Brandon Garza show. 2-yard touchdown there, and another coming up here.
Yeah, we talked about him being all short-handed at running back, and they didn't miss a beat tonight. You know, this is the backup guy, and he performed admirably.
Absolutely, just a sophomore. As we found out in postgame, a spitting image of maybe a young Benicio del Toro.
Looks just like him.
Ruel Sanchez sticking his nose in there. Got the football back in the end zone. Touchdown, O'Connor was 42-0, and Stevens kept fighting all night. O'Connor came up with a pick. Stevens got it back on a fumble recovery, and then young Carson Prouty kept Stevens off the schneid by scoring to make it 42-7, and those are iDreamSA.com highlights. And Chuck, take us through the final stats.
Well, rushing yards, you know, pretty good for both teams, obviously, but you just got to like the balance that O'Connor gets from their offense. You know, almost 2 Bills rushing it, and then, you know, another 169 in the air. Again, clean performance by both teams. Just O'Connor's at another level right now, and they would do this to a lot of teams in town tonight the way they're playing right now.
No question about it. Looking forward to, I think their position as the number 2 team in the TNL top 10 is safe. They can only go up depending on what Judson does. Hey, coming up this weekend, we've got all kinds of football for you on the family of Sinclair San Antonio stations, including the CW35. We've got Pitt and Duke Saturday morning, starting it all off at 11 a.m. Chuck and I will have the call from the Alamo Dome. Rice taking on UTSA. The Roadrunners looking to bounce back after a couple of Conference USA losses to Southern Miss and North Texas. And Chuck, those are 2 very good football teams. I know UTSA is chomping at the bit to get back on the winning track.
They are, and they're not going to go to sleep on Rice. I mean, you can forget the 1-5 record. They played a murderer's row schedule going into Conference USA play. And, you know, Rice has got the win already against UTEP, and that's big because that's one more conference win than UTSA. So I know the Runners had designs on trying to win a conference. Can't win a conference if you don't get a win first. This is a huge game for UTSA, and Rice feels like, you know, hey, they're getting healthier too. So I think Coach Bailiff's going to have his squad ready. They're getting healthier coming into this game. I know he's excited about that. And
they're getting over a tough early start. They were in Australia to start the season, then they had Hurricane Harvey, and they were stuck in Fort Worth for a while. And, yeah, 4 or 5 key players back for the Owls. Here's the triple header on Fox 29, Maryland and Wisconsin, OU and K-State. And how about them Horned Frogs, number 4 in the land? TCU kind of quietly vaulting up into the top 5. They'll take on Kansas.
And don't forget on OAI, you guys got USC Notre Dame. That's another
big one. And we've got the Cowboys and 49ers Sunday on Fox 29. We'll be there for complete coverage, both on Max Sports and Sports Sunday. And then we'll have Sunday Night Football. We've got the Falcons and Patriots, the Super Bowl rematch. And, you know, I'm telling you guys now, because it's not because this leads into our newscast, but if it's like, let's say, 28-3 in the third quarter, don't tune out, because something good could happen, or it could end up being a fantastic finish.
Well, here's the way. If it's 28-3, then you flip over at 9:30, watch Max Sports till 10, then you can go back to the football game.
Hey, next week we've got Edison and Highlands, the Owls in the TNL Top 10 riding high. So don't miss that. That's next week on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Again, our final tonight here, O'Connor 42, Stevens 7. For Chuck McIntyre, Mike Hernandez, Mark Kusenberger, our statistician extraordinaire up here in the booth. For Chris Kotfus, Brian Watson, the truck, and the cast of thousands that do all the heavy lifting to put this on the air. We'll see you next week, Edison and Highlands on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. So long, everybody.